Moreover, Ananda, when his karma as a ghost is ended, the problem is of emotion as opposed to discursive thought is resolved. At that point, he must pay back in kind what he borrowed from others to resolve those grievances. He is born into the body of an animal to repay his debts from past lives. The retribution of the strange ghost of material objects is finished when the object is destroyed and it is reborn in the world, usually as a species of owl. The retribution of the drought ghost of the wind is finished when the wind subsides, and it is reborn in the world, usually as a species of weird creature which gives inauspicious prognostications. The retribution of the male ghost of an animal is finished when the animal dies and it is reborn in the world, usually as a species of fox. The retribution of the cool ghost in the form of worms is finished when the cool is exhausted and it is reborn in the world, usually as a species of venomous creature. The retribution of a pestilence ghost found in degeneration is finished when the degeneration is complete and it is reborn in the world, usually as a species of tapeworm. The retribution of the ghost which takes shape in gases is finished when the gases are gone and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of eating animal. The retribution of the ghost of prolonged darkness is finished when the darkness ends and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of animal used for clothing or service. The retribution of the ghost which unites with energy is finished when the union dissolves and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of migratory creature. The retribution of the ghost of brightness and intellect is finished when the brightness disappears and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of auspicious creature. The retribution of the ghost that relies on a person is finished when the person dies and it is then reborn in the world, usually as a species of domestic animal. Ananda, all this is due to the burning out of his karmic fire in payment for his debts from past lives. The rebirth as an animal is also occasioned by his own forms and empty karma. If he awakens to Bodhi, then fundamentally none of these false conditions will exist at all. You mentioned the precious lotus fragrance, king crystal, and bhikshu good stars. Evil karma such as theirs was created by them alone. It did not fall down out of the heavens or well up from the earth, nor was it imposed upon them by some person. Then own falseness brought it into being, and so they themselves have to undergo it. In the body mind, it is empty and false, and cohesion of false thoughts. Moreover, Ananda, if, while repaying his past debts by undergoing rebirth as an animal, such a living being pays back more than he owed, he will then be reborn as a human to rectify the excess. If he is a person with strength, blessings, and virtue, then once he is in the human realm, he will not have to lose his human rebirth after what is owed him is restored. But if he lacks blessings, then he will return to the animal realm to continue repaying his debts. Ananda, you should know that Once the debt is paid, whether with money, material goods, or manual labor, the process of repayment naturally comes to an end. But if in the process he took the lives of other beings or ate their flesh, then they continues in the same way, passing through compass as many as most of fine dust, taking turns devouring and being slaughtered in a cycle that sends him up and down endlessly. There is no way to put a stop to it except through shamatha or through a Buddha's coming to the world. You should know that when owls and their kind have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as people, but among these who are corruption and obstinate. When creatures that are inauspicious have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as people, but among those who are abnormal. When foxes have paid back their debts, they regain their original forms and are born as people, but among those who are simpletons. When creatures of the venomous category have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as people, but among those who are hateful. When tapeworms and their like have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are born as people, but among those who are lowly. When the edible types of creatures have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people, but among those who are weak. When creatures that are used for clothing or service have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people, but among those who do hard labor. When creatures that migrate have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people among those who are liberated. When auspicious creatures have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people among those who are intelligent. When domestic animals have paid back their debts, they regain their original form and are reborn as people among those who are well informed. Ananda, these are all beings that have finished paying back former debts and are born again in the human realm. They are involved in a beginningless scheming of karma and being upside down, in which their lives are spent killing one another and being killed by one another. They do not get to meet the first command or hear the proper dharma. They just abide in the wearisome dust, passing through a repetitive cycle. Such a people can truly be called pitiful. Furthermore, Ananda, there are people who do not rely on proper enlightenment, who cultivate samadhi but cultivate in some special way that is based on their false thinking, holding on to the idea of perpetuating their physical bodies. They roam in the mountains and forests in places people do not go and beyond, and become 10 kinds of immortals. Ananda, some living beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong with the dose of medicine. When they have perfected this method of ingestion, they are known as earth-traveling immortals. Some of these beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through the use of grasses and herbs. When they have perfected this method of taking herbs, they are known as flying immortals. Some of these beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through the use of metal and stone. When they have perfected this method of transformation, they are known as roaming immortals. Some of these beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through movement and cessation. When they have perfected their breath and essence, they are known as space-traveling immortals. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong by using the flow of saliva. When they when they have perfected the virtues of this moisture, they are known as heaven-traveling immortals. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong with the essence of sun and moon. When they have perfected the inhalation of this purity, they are known as immortals of penetrating conduct. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through mantras and prohibitions. When they have perfected these spells and dramas, they are known as immortals with way conduct. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through the use of thought process. When they have perfected thought and memories, they are known as immortals with illumining. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through intercourse. When they have perfected the response, they are known as immortals with essential conduct. Some beings with unflagging resolution make themselves strong through transformations and changes. When they have perfected their awakening, they are known as immortals of absolute conduct. Ananda, these are all people who smelt their minds but do not cultivate proper enlightenment. They obtain some special principle of life and can live for tens of thousands of years. They retire deep into the mountains or onto islands in the sea and cut themselves off from the human realm. However, they are still part of the turning wheel, because they flow and turn according to their false thinking and do not cultivate samadhi. When their reward is finished, they must still return and enter the various destinies. Ananda, there are many people in the world who do not seek what is eternal and who cannot yet renounce the kinds of love they feel for their wives, but they have no interest in divine sexual activity and so develop a purity and produce light. When their life ends, they draw near to the sun and moon and are among those born in the heavens of the four kings. Those whose sexual love for their wives is light, but who have not yet obtained the entire flavor of dwelling in purity, transcend the light of sun and moon at the end of their lives and reside at the summit of the human realm. They are among those born in the Charashimsha heaven. Those who become temporarily involved when they meet with desire, but who forget about it when it is finished, and who and why in the human realm are activeless and quiet more, abide at the end of their lives in the light and emptiness where the illumination of sun and moon does not reach. These beings have their own light and they are among those born in the Suyama heaven. Those who are quiet all the time but who are not yet able to resist when stimulated by contact ascend at the end of their lives to a subtle and ethereal place. They will not be drawn near to the flowers realms, the destruction of the realms of humans and gods, and the obliteration of compass by their three disasters will not reach them, for they are among those born in the Tushita heaven. Those who are devoid of desire but who will engage in it for the sake of their partner, even though the flavor of doing so is like the flavor of chewing wax, are born at the end of their lives in a space of transcending transformations. They are among those born in the heaven of bliss and transformation. Those who have no kind of worldly thoughts while doing what worldly people do, who are lucid and beyond such activity while involved in it, are capable at the end of their lives of entirely transcending states where transformations may be present and may be lacking.